drone. Warden's on standby. Friendly drone support is active.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Infinite Warfare beta review by Vector, myself. So basically, Infinite Warfare, what is it? Is it good? Is it the best Call of Duty that was ever existed? No, it is not, but I can tell you it is definitely not the worst. The gunfights are feeling very good in my opinion right now. It doesn't feel too hard and too unfair in terms of different situations, but it feels just right. But in my opinion, I feel like the gun bouncing is a little bit wonky, so I feel like they kind of need to pick up on that, and we will go into that in later depths later on in the video. The graphics are, meh, the graphics are never that great, especially in this game, and there are a good number of weapons and variety for the beta. Basically guys, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is basically the last 3 Call of Duties that have been previously launched, including Ghosts, Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, kind of mixed together with some of the original CODs, including MW2, COD 4 in terms of weapons, and they've made an attempt on balancing and tuning these original games into one Call of Duty, that Call of Duty called Infinite Warfare. Now when I say they made an attempt, I mean they made an attempt, and you guys are going to see some of the little queries I've got about the game, and some of the things that I think need to be fixed, and some of the things that I think are very good about the game. Now before we start guys, I just want to say all of my constructive criticism I put towards this game is purely, at the moment, from my own experience with the PS4 beta of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and I'm trying to be as fair and unbiased as possible. My opinions of the game may change when this game is officially released on November the 4th, which is actually next week of recording this. So yeah, I'm just going to be seeing what I think of the beta right now, and when the official game is released about a month later, I will release a Call of Duty official release PS4 what would I call it? Review. That's the one. But without further ado guys, this is the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare beta review by Vector, aka me. So to start off with the maps. The maps feel really good and varied with a close and long distance engagement. A good example of this would be to compare maps like Frontier, a small space station map with quick, short and fast engagements in close quarters, where you've got to be quick and agile to stay alive in this map. Now if you compare this to a larger map, should I say, like the Terminal Remake, which is more forgiving if you're not always ready, for multiple gunfights, spraying down corridors and all that. It's more forgiving in terms of that, but because of its largeness, and because it's quite an open area right in the middle of the map, you're going to be finding more snipers and assault rifles. It's going to be like heaven to them, as well as more aerial score streaks such as the Warden, which you guys saw in the beginning, taking you out. Now this feels very balanced in terms of map engagements. To quickly add with, I also feel like the wall running has been kind of toned down in this game. Now I really do like, the more added movements they give each year. I definitely like the sliding. I've always liked sliding. Wall running was never a giant like for me, because I just never felt like that added verticality to the map was really that good. Like boosting was enough. Now wall running just adds everything a bit more complicated. There's not a lot of wall running spots on different maps, but the full game hasn't been released yet, we don't know. But one thing that I just want the developers of the game to address is how fast you actually get off the wall runs. Like, I've been killed many times just because it feels like people are getting very fast off these wall running spots. And also when you're going into engagements on the wall running, it doesn't feel as smooth and, you know, as clear as in Black Ops 3, and I definitely feel like there's a step back in that direction. But you know, I also feel because of reduced amounts of wall running, it's kind of toned down a little bit, but I hope to see the developers address these problems. So in terms of colours, regarding that this game was partially based off Call of Duty Ghosts, I'm sure all of you guys want to know what the colours are like and if it is an improvement from Call of Duty Ghosts, which definitely, in my opinion at least, looked extremely bland and washed out. However, the game does feel like it's based primarily on Ghosts for the visual effects, but more toned up and very colourful. I feel like they've definitely improved on the colour and making the game really stand out a lot. However, at the same time, it doesn't feel as refined and sometimes, you know, a bit too cartoonish, if you know what I mean. So it's definitely better than Ghosts, but not quite Advanced Warfare, which in my opinion I felt like it had the best graphics Call of Duty has ever had. It really felt refined and touched up. But you know, on the other side, if you had to relate it to something, I would definitely relate it to either Ghost or BO3. In fact, maybe even BO2, because BO2 was quite cartoonish, but it feels sometimes a little too, you know, like the saturation and how cartoony it looks sometimes feels a little too over the top, if I may add. So the game at the release of the beta felt extremely laggy, at least for me. A lot of people didn't experience this, but I don't know why I did, and you know, I know a few other people who've done it, and it's very choppy, and you know, especially if you take off the motion blur, definitely you're gonna see how like laggy the game can really get. It seems to have fixed now for me, ever since I put motion blur back on. Now one of the developers have actually mentioned that they didn't put the motion blur on for performance reasons, but I can definitely tell you it definitely does feel like it was for performance reasons. And you know, the motion blur isn't actually that bad, you don't notice it in the end, and it doesn't affect your gameplay, at least in my opinion. So I would definitely recommend when the game releases putting motion blur on, because otherwise it's going to look very choppy and, you know, very laggy, and no one wants that, do they? Do they? And now the bit that you've all been waiting for. Gun balancing. Gun balancing right now is a little bit all over the place for you guys, just to be honest with you guys, you know. So the game is basically SMG dominant. You know, the SMGs always pretty much are winning, you know, because the game has such small maps, at least we know from the beta, and it's just crowded with SMGs, like crowded. But that's not to say assault rifles don't have their place in the game and can be very effective if used right. Now, I'm not going to say that they haven't done anything to the gun balancing. I feel like they've kind of implemented the right situations to use either guns. You know when you need to use an assault rifles, you know that the bigger maps obviously need the assault rifles. But the thing that I like is that, you know, it's a lot harder to get long range kills with SMGs because of the recoil. I will say the recoil is quite big, but the thing I don't like about the SMGs is that some of them have, you know, those different versions of the guns which make them an assault rifle and an SMG at the same time. They implemented this in Ghosts with the Ripper, and it's actually back in this game called the RP3 Evo. But before we get into that, why don't we talk about all the other guns first? So if you know, the LMGs, the shotguns, which all feel very powerful. You know, sometimes it can even feel a bit too powerful. And you know, while many people, you know, would like the health rate and the gun severely nerfed, I kind of like it in my opinion. Personally, I hate slow-paced Call of Duty matches. I leave that to Battlefield, and I find it enjoyable because I feel now being more accurate and knowing the spawns can ensure more depth and skill into surviving in the game. It's kind of like the older Call of Duties MW2, MW3. Now I will go into that a bit later in the fact that I'm kind of feeling like this game is taking less skill at the same time. They've made it a lot harder recently around Advanced Warfare with the new verticality, but now we're all used to that and it feels natural, but this game is just so fast, but it just feels really fast. But you know, at the same time, it's starting to get easier to like, for you know, newer people to come into the Call of Duty community, pick up their controller and get a couple kills. I don't know why this is happening. It's been happening for ages now, but it's starting to get a lot worse at the same time. So yeah, we all have our own opinions about what we like, but there's still no denying guns like the RP3 Evo are overpowered, and the developers need to tune the guns so that everything is completely nerfed, or guns are all OP and would change the way the Call of Duty is played for us. Now especially my man Pub Stompers. Like it's gonna change it a lot. I feel like Call of Duty is definitely gonna change this year, not just in the population but also the way we play it. Like, you know, the game started changing around Advanced Warfare. You know, Ghost was okay, and then Advanced Warfare came along, and then everything changed. But I feel like now they've made some drastic changes to the game, which are good and bad, but just either way, the game is going to be completely changed. As I said, it seems like skill is slowly drifting away from Call of Duty, and new and more casual players are welcomed, and can even get high streaks within their first few hours. Snipers are back, though with aim assist. Black Ops 3, people started adapting to snipers. It actually felt like it required skill to use a sniper. It looks like Infinity Ward doesn't really care about skill. Snipers are OP, guys. I think if they nerf the aim assist a little, everything would be okay. I've gotten clips, man. I've gotten quads before. Actually, no, that's just a lie. I've gotten triples with snipers. Me, Vector, triples, that does not make sense. I really do feel like they need to nerf the aim assist, otherwise it's going to be really chaotic. It's going to just be like Black Ops 2 again. I feel like the SMGs need to be more prioritised to close quarters and reduce damage at longer ranges. Now I did say before they've done this quite well, but especially guns like the RP3 Evo, you know, guns like that which have little recoil, you know, the selected few, they are just monsters at any range. Like, literally, it shouldn't be like this. SMGs just should not be able to do this. If you look at games like MW2, you could really tell when you need like an ACR compared to a UMP45. Like, you could still get kills at long ranges, but you'd have to tap fire. In this game, you can go full auto and still get kills at long ranges. I don't know why this is happening. All the maps in this game really do feel small and close quartered. Even the larger maps like the Terminal Remake doesn't really affect SMG players, although there could be larger maps in the full game which we are not aware of yet. But as of the moment, I can kind of tell this game's focused for a more faster, more speed oriented game, and I definitely feel like it's going to be one of those games which you can't really just rest for a second. You're going to have to keep moving. That is just that crazy. Because there are many smaller maps, the spawn algorithm is pretty messed up. I've been on both the receiving side and giving side of spawn killing and being killed from behind after a couple seconds of being spawned in. It's not meant to be like this. This is not Call of Duty. This is primarily because of the smaller maps, as we are aware this game was based on multiple previous CODs, and it seems very chaotic, being that the movement system allows you to get from the A flag to the C flag easily, especially on maps like Frontier. This has been present in many other CODs, but you can feel it in this one. I think a way to fix this is by either making the maps bigger, which can even make a difference between Frontier and Terminal Remake. You know, it kind of makes a little significant difference, even though Terminal Remake is still very close quartered, especially around the middle, around B site. They could either do that, or they could make the speed of the game much slower. Although I don't know if that could be potentially game breaking. As I said, I feel like the game's code is really messed up and some things are just unfixable. I don't know what the game would be like if they really made the speed slower. Like, I don't see how it would fit in with all the specialists and, you know, the movement of the game at all. There is a lot of fault with this game's base and code, which I do not believe they can fix without releasing another Call of Duty. Personally, I feel like weapon variants are actually a good addition to the game, even though they come in supply drops, as well as buying them using the game's currency, salvage. I do not like how some of the weapon variants make a significant difference to a point where the gun is completely changed and OP. I feel like they should just make the nuke available to everyone without variants. Rigs are an interesting topic. Rigs like Merc with health regeneration and the unstoppable shield can just be annoying. The Reaper, which is basically the slashing dog robot, you know, the one that can jump everywhere, you know, it's just crazy. Like, it can be killed normally, but especially in close quarter maps, you can go on crazy sprees with it. Same goes for the FTL rig, where you can teleport almost seamlessly and can kill someone. It's just not right. It's completely unfair. I mean, you just throw it out the window, mate. I'd like to see what the developers do with these rigs. I mean, I believe you can earn these slower than BO3, but you know, there's something that definitely else needs to change in this game about the rigs, because they're just completely out the question, really. They're completely just, I don't know how to explain it, just completely out the window, yeah. Honestly, secondary guns feel like Halo guns. Primary and secondary lethals and tacticals just feel so OP. I can't remember on the top of my head, but there's like this flying C4 thing, which, you know, you can explode by double tapping X, and there's like a drone spider thing which you can drop. It basically guarantees you a kill. Man, too OP, man. Netcode, in my opinion, is actually really good. You know, the connection was awful during the beta, but what can you expect? BO3 beta was kind of like this in a way, maybe a little better, but you know, I'm sure we'll get better connections during the full game. You know, especially regarding that there was so many people trying to get onto the beta for Infinite Warfare. Overall, this game has potential to be decent and even better than Ghost and maybe even Advanced Warfare, but no further. It's just too crazy and the game's coding feels a little sloppy, but I'm sure as the year goes on, if Infinity Ward listens to the community about our feedback on gun balancing, you know, etc., I believe this game could be good. Oh. And no money. No, supply drop money. Please. Do not make it pay to win. Infinity Ward, listen. If big man Activision tells you to put purchaseable money supply drops, tell them to shove it up there. But thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Leave a like, favorite, comment, subscribe. This has been the Infinite Warfare Beta PS4 review by Vector in HD 720p 60 FPS. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, this has probably been one of my longest videos on my channel, in which I've done a continuous commentary for. Yeah, this is really good, apart from live streams, but you know, this has been quite a big project, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could leave a like and a comment down below, and maybe even subscribe if you're new. It'd really help me out. And you know, Infinite Warfare is coming out tomorrow as of uploading this, hopefully on Thursday, but if I don't manage to upload it, then it should be uploaded on the day that Infinite Warfare is released, Friday being. But yeah, thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Leave a like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.